Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's edition of the LTT Podcast. My name is BrendenPlayz. This is the show where we answer all the questions that you send in every single week to do with the latest in terms of wrestling, sport, movies, TV, you name it. We decide to cover it. If I have an opinion on it, I will talk about it on this show. This is the show where I talk about anything that comes to my mind. You can, of course, send in a question for next week's episode of this podcast by heading over to our Facebook page at BrendenPlayz Official or by leaving a comment in the YouTube comment section down below with your question. So if you have a question, leave a comment right now with your question. Of course, make sure you do leave a like on this video and support the channel and the show. We've had a little bit of an increase in views lately, which is nice, so I'm hoping to keep that going. And in terms of me, in terms of the channel right now, there's a change. There's a change that we are going to be making to this weekend's Elimination Chamber. Now, poor scheduling from me. I did not know that I had an exam on the same day that I am scheduled to get my pay-per-view out, which means I need to kind of study for my exam. I just can't get the time to do the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, and I don't want to rush it out because that way I'm going to fail my exam and the pay-per-view is not going to be as good. So instead of being stressed out trying to get two things done at once, I'm just going to take an extra day and we're going to have it on Sunday instead of Saturday. So this Sunday is going to be the Elimination Chamber. Now, I hope you guys do understand. I'll put out a video later on regarding the change. So if you did miss it, if you need a reminder, you'll know. But I do apologize because I always thought November 5th was going to be sweet because my other exam was actually on November 18th. So I have a huge gap between November 5th and November 18th, so a huge gap between exams. So I was a little surprised that this one actually landed on the 5th, and I was like, well, I could be able to get this done in advance, and I just didn't get around to doing it. I mean, I don't know, to be honest, I just haven't been done. I mean, I haven't been good enough. I always thought I've got extra time, got more time, and poor time management from me, and I haven't got it done. So there's a change to that. We also changed the entire setup today in my office, so I don't know if I'll put a setup video out or anything like that. I'm not sure what I'll do, but maybe I'll post some pictures on Twitter or something like that. But I completely changed up my setup. I bought 2 new desks today, and which means I got a hell of a lot more room for my 3 monitors, and just basically making my life a lot easier, just kind of rearranging everything cool, just kind of fixing everything up. I'm going to mount a TV to my wall as well, so I'm going to have a TV above me at the same time, and I'll be able to watch sport because obviously cricket season has just begun today. Cricket has started, and cricket is amazing, my favourite sport. And by the way, Australia on fire. Man, did we have a good start. Now, I'm probably jinxed it for tomorrow, but we had a good start anyways. But yeah, so the sport is back on. I want to watch TV whilst in my office, so definitely need a TV in here. So I bought a wall mount. I don't have a drill. Surprisingly, I don't have a drill, so I need to get a drill, and I'm going to fix it up on the wall. So maybe when I get all that done, I'll clean up the room a bit, and I will show you guys a bit of a setup video, my new setup, a bit of a change, and that'll be something different for you guys to watch on the channel. But yeah, so a bit of a rearrangement today. We went around, shopping all day, and I just didn't really get time to do videos today, but we got a lot done. And I've been busy doing assignments and things like that. I've been really working away, trying to get the work done, getting closer and closer to finishing up the semester. So everything should be sweet after November 18th. That's my last last exam, I should say, which will mean that's my last day of the semester. So that'll be cool as. So hopefully we can get through that okay. But this week on the show, we've got plenty to chat about. Obviously coming off the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. We'll touch on that. And there's probably not a hell of a lot to say. I thought the pay-per-view was okay. I thought it was pretty good. I really enjoyed a couple of matches there, but we'll talk more about that there in a moment. But I want to start it off with this new announcement that just got made, I think earlier today or yesterday. I can't remember. The new Cruiserweights Show, 205 Live. Now, a lot of talk going around about this right now. I don't know how to really feel. I feel like this is a cop-out. I feel like this is like them giving up in a way. So instead of allocating an hour of Raw, we already have 3 hours. 3 hours of Raw every week. We can't find time to put an hour of Cruiserweight action in. Hell, 45 minutes of Cruiserweight action in on it. 3 hours of Raw. So what do we have to do? We had to create a whole new show just for the network. I get it. More content. It's good content. Really good content, actually. This is the type of content that I think we want to see. But it's like, well, if we had 2 hours of Raw, 2 hours of SmackDown, I could maybe see the need for an hour of Cruiserweights. But 3 hours of Raw and the Cruiserweights are only on Raw? Surely you could find time in that 3 hours to do something meaningful with the Cruiserweights. I mean, look what they've done for the last couple of weeks with the Cruiserweights. 6-man tags that are meaningless, no one cares about, and just doing the same old Brian Kendrick and TJ Perkins stuff. TJ Perkins is struggling. Getting the belt off Perkins and giving it to Kendrick was the right move, the right call. I'm glad they went with that. Hopefully Kendrick can do something, because this Cruiserweight division is dying a rapid death. And it's not necessarily the Cruiserweight's fault. I blame WWE. And I blame the fans as well. I think the fans were never really willing to give the Cruiserweights a chance. I blame WWE because the problem is that we got promised high-flying action that you've never seen before. These guys are incredible athletes. They can do stuff that you've never ever seen before. But the problem is that when we see the Cruiserweights, we see Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, hell, even Dean Ambrose. Everyone's doing the same shit as the Cruiserweights are doing. So what's really unique about them? Nothing really. So when you kind of build a whole division around being amazing, high-flying, incredible stuff that, you know, you've never seen before, and we've kind of already seen it all, it's no wonder why the division has fallen flat. Now, I blame the fans because we weren't really open to giving them a chance. To make the Cruiserweight division great, it was going to take 6 to 12 months before these guys started getting over, guys started getting used to being on WWE. Because you've got to remember, a lot of these guys skipped NXT. I know they've been doing a little bit of NXT here and there, but most of them, I think pretty much all of them, have skipped NXT and have gone straight to the main roster, which is rare for WWE. So you've got like 10 new guys coming in. Most of them have skipped NXT. Some of them are doing shows there, here and there, but that's not really enough, is it? You know, doing a show here and there really isn't going to improve much. And you throw them all on Raw. And you basically said, here's this guy, he can do great moves, love him. Just cheer for him. Please like him. That's it. And I get they've done some vignettes of them doing some cool moves and stuff, but is that really enough? It hasn't really been enough. So I blame both parties. And I myself, I've already kind of lost a lot of interest in the Cruiserweights. And that's surprising, because when they first debuted, I'm like, oh yeah, here we go, this is going to be great. Something different for Raw. And now that something different for Raw is now going to be something different for a 1 hour special every week on the WWE Network after SmackDown. Now here's my other problem. What's happening with Talking Smack? Now I haven't kind of looked into it any further today to see what the deal is, but is Talking Smack now done? As it replaced with 205 Live? Now I don't mind the name 205 Live. It's different. It's kind of got a bit of a ring to it. 205 Live, you know, you can kind of rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? So I don't mind that. I don't mind the name, but now it's after Talking Smack. So now they're getting rid of Talking Smack, or what's the deal? I, for the life of me, cannot understand why this Cruiserweight show isn't on after NXT or before NXT. Either or. I don't care. I can't fathom as to why. Now, I guess they wanted it to be a live show. So if it's going to be a live show, why the hell isn't it on before SmackDown? Hell, even before Raw. Why isn't it on before? Because after, here's the thing. You go through a 2 hour SmackDown, you're ready to go home. You went through an hour of 30 minutes of main event or whatever beforehand. Then you go through 2 hour SmackDown. So you already had 2.5 hours. Then you get a Dark Show match. So you've had 3 hours already. Now, you add in another hour for the Cruiserweights? So that's what, you know, we're looking at 3.5, 4 hours right there. Right there, 4 hours nearly of content every week that the crowd has to sit through. And the Cruiserweights are meant to be this exciting, brand new, amazing division. And you throw them out there for the final hour, which reality will be like 45 minutes when you cut on the ads and shit. When you throw them out there for 45 minutes, you have 3 matches on that show. When the crowd's at their worst, the crowd is ready to go home. They're tired, they're done. When the Cruiserweights are meant to be this exciting thing that's going to amp them all up. So I can't understand how they're going to retain the viewership. How they're going to keep people from not leaving the building. Because once you just get done seeing AJ Styles and Randy Orton and Dean Ambrose, and then you get to see, you know, TJ Perkins versus Drew Gulak, I mean, are you going to stick around for that? I mean, I would. Of course, being a wrestling fan, I've obviously paid good money, but would you rather see that to start the show off kind of, you know, all right, let me find my seats, let me get a couple of drinks, you know, whatever. I'll sit down for a match. all right, this match is on next, I don't really care about it, I'll go to the bathroom, get ready for the main show type of thing. Is that what they're trying to avoid? Are they trying to avoid it being that, that pre-show filler, that show that no one really gives a shit about? Is that what they're trying to avoid? Because I feel like they're just putting it on when everyone's had enough. 10 o'clock at night. People have had enough. People want to go to bed. People, school kids, they're going to school the next day. They're going to sleep. People going to bed to go to work the next day. Like, that's not a good time. So timing is a huge issue already, right from the bat. And now, have they given up? Are we going to see, the lower-end cruiserweight guys on this show? Or is it just going to be strictly cruiserweights only? Now, we heard a rumor that this show could happen. But is this going to be just strictly cruiserweights and they're no longer on Raw? Which would be just embarrassing for Raw. After building and building and building it all up. Hey, the cruiserweights are only on Raw. Well, not anymore. That lasted, 2 months? So, are they going to be on both shows? And if they are, well, how are they going to use this 205 live show? Now, I think having our own show is fine. But like I said, we've already got enough content. And it's going to be hard to kind of convince people to watch even another hour of wrestling. So, especially when you have a 3-hour Raw show. Surely you can find 45 minutes on Raw to allocate to the Cruiserweights and do something with them. I mean, it makes sense. Halfway, they changed the ropes, they changed the whole damn show to make it purple for one freaking match for the Cruiserweights. Why not do 2 or 3 in a row and have the second hour of Raw allocated to the Cruiserweights? At least to be something different. At least you know what you're going to get. And, by the way, add Neville into this damn division. Why Neville isn't the Cruiserweight champion right now is beyond me. A guy who's established, a guy who's been on TV for a couple of years now. People know who he is. He's just as good as a high flyer as anyone else. He's the man that gravity forgot. So his whole gimmick is doing crazy shit. Why the hell is he not in the Cruiserweight division? I have no idea. It just makes no sense to me whatsoever. But, that's, WWE for you. They added Sin Cara. Why not Neville? Is Neville over 205? He could be. I don't know. But that may be the issue. So maybe Neville needs to cut 5 pounds, because I can't see him being much more than 205. You need to cut 5 pounds, Neville, to get in this Cruiserweight division. You better get working out, because otherwise, what purpose does Neville really do? I mean, he comes out here, has a match on Raw once a month, he might get a win, he might get a loss. Every other week he's on Superstars. Why not actually do something with the guy and have him at the Cruiserweights? But yeah, this whole 205 Live, I mean, I like the show, I like the concept, I'll check it out, I will, but I just don't understand their planning behind it. I just don't understand why now, why not do it when the Cruiserweights first begin, why they're doing it now, and why they're putting it on after SmackDown. Just the timing is poor, the planning is poor, I just don't get it. I just don't get it, and I don't know. Hopefully we get some more answers, because there could be more answers and I haven't seen it, but I'm just confused right now. Alright, Hell to Sell. Let's chat about Hell to Sell. Actually, first we'll talk about the Cubs winning the World Series. Now, we'll talk about Hell to Sell in a moment. This won't take long. I'm not a huge baseball fan, but I did watch the other game the other day when the Cleveland Indians, they were up 7-1. I think it might have been Game 4. I watched Game 4, which is my first game of baseball I've watched in a long, long time. And I actually watched the last moment in the Game 7. I was watching the cricket, and the cricket actually had finished went on a break for a bit. So I flicked over to the baseball, and I saw the final moment, which was cool, I mean, I thought the commentators kind of let the moment down. I mean, they were all of a sudden, they've won the World Series. It was kind of a little bit out of nowhere. They weren't really hyping the moment up. But anyway, that's just me. But, yeah, really cool. I love in sport when there is that history and there's that good feel moment, that story to be told. You guys probably don't know, but we have rugby league here, and we had the Cronulla Sharks, who had never won a premiership, never won the quote unquote World Series equivalent of rugby league here in Australia, and it took them 50 years, and they won their first one in 50 years, first one ever. And it took them 50 years to finally win one. So that was a really cool moment. I don't like the team personally, but to see them win after the first time in 50 years is cool. It's great. So, for baseball, it's crazy that teams haven't won in over 100 years, like the Cubs. And to get that win, and also to get that win in the way that they did with a huge comeback, that was crazy. So, kudos to the Cubs. I don't actually have a baseball team. I don't know who I would support. I mean, I need to go to America and just go and see a game and just follow that team. Whoever I go and see, just follow them. I don't know. I don't have a team. But baseball, to me, I know a lot of people compare it to cricket, but it's really nothing. It has a couple similarities, but really it's not like it. But I don't know. I don't mind baseball. I just don't have a team to support, and yeah, so I guess if I had to watch an American sport, I'd definitely watch the NBA. But yeah, anyways, I'm rambling. It was cool to see the Cubs win, and yeah, so another cool sporting moment I just thought I would touch on. Anyways, Hell in a Cell. Alrighty, so favorite moment, favorite match. Alright, favorite moment was it Kevin Owens or was it Seth Rollins? I think it was Kevin Owens who went crashing through those two tables in the Hell in a Cell. Favorite cell match, without a doubt, was Owens and Rollins. That was a great match. I really enjoyed that match. Now, we talked about it last week, how the hell they're going to do 3. And it was pretty clear that the third one was not necessary. Roman Reigns and Rusev did not need to happen. That match did not need to be Hell in a Cell. Didn't feel like Hell in a Cell at all. Just didn't have it. It was too long. It just was not a good match. I mean, it wasn't a bad match, but it was the fact that we've already seen like 3 20-minute matches between the two and not too long. I mean, we just didn't really need to see it again, and I don't think it really needed Hell in a Cell. You take that Hell in a Cell out, and then you have Rollins and Owens and the women's Hell in a Cell, and to be honest, that's 2 pretty decent Hell in a Cell matches. Now, I thought the women did a good job. The storytelling at the start was interesting. I think we all kind of knew Sasha was going to get up and fight, but still, nonetheless, pretty cool. But it was definitely cool storytelling. It was definitely a good match. It was cool to see the women get that big opportunity, and they certainly made the most of it. I didn't like the finish. I thought the finish was kind of like a little out of nowhere. And the only thing I probably didn't like for the Owens and Rollins match was a little bit too much of a handicap match, but I did like the way that Jericho got in. That was a pretty cool way for him to get in there, so I was okay with that. But it did turn into a bit of a handicap match, but Jericho getting thrown around a bit was interesting. But I certainly did enjoy the Hell in a Cell match, those 2 Hell in a Cell matches. They were certainly good. Like I said, Reigns and Rusev, not so much. Brian Kendrick winning the Cruiserweight title is great. Glad he did that. Cesaro and Sheamus did not win, but they won by DQ. They didn't win the belts. Pretty clear now that New Day is going to hold it until they beat the record. That's absolutely 100% clear to me right now. That they're not losing those titles anytime soon. It's, I guess you kind of wonder, is that a bad thing? I don't think it's a bad thing, but I think, they are a little stale. I think the fans wouldn't mind seeing something different, a new act come along and win those titles. But it is a question of who would it be? Who's credible enough to beat them right now? I don't really know. But anyways, I thought Hell in a Cell was good. I'd probably give about a 7 out of 10. For a PG 2016 Hell in a Cell match, I thought Owens and Rollins put on a really, really good match. Really enjoyed that. You don't need blood, but you do need a bit of physicality. You do need to be brutal. It did feel more like a tables match than a Hell in a Cell match, to be honest with you. But what's a Hell in a Cell match these days? Let's be honest. A couple of weapons being used. They'll go to the cage once or twice. That's a cell. So for a Hell in a Cell match in 2016, they did a pretty decent job. So I did enjoy that. And I thought the women main eventing was a great moment. It was something cool, something different. Different is good, and they cannot easily afford to do that because obviously they hyped the show up as 3 main events. They never said which was going to be the final match of the show, and nor did it really matter. Does it really matter that the women main eventer that technically main evented? No, not really. Did it really affect anyone watching it? No, it didn't, because they built it up as 3 main events. So the way they did it, they kind of got away with women going on last. But like I said, it was a good match. Charlotte winning the belt back. I heard a rumor or whatever that they want Charlotte to be undefeated on pay-per-view for as long as possible until WrestleMania, and have her undefeated pay-per-view streak come to an end by someone at Mania as to give them the rub. I get that. That's fine by me. I don't mind that. I think Charlotte, to be honest with you, is leaps and bounds better than Sasha Banks on the mic and even in ring. I'm really enjoying Charlotte a lot more than Sasha Banks. To me, the number 1 woman in the WWE right now is without a doubt Charlotte. So Sasha Banks dropping the belt doesn't really bother me. I think Sasha is better off chasing the belt rather than holding the belt. But I'm just not sure where they're going to go next after Survivor Series. Is Nia Jax going to step up to take on Charlotte? Obviously, that's going to be heel versus heel. Probably not. Is Bayley going to step up to take on Charlotte? Maybe. Is Emma going to get involved? I don't know. But certainly interesting right now. And like I said, it was a good pay-per-view and a couple of good Hell in a Cell matches. Certainly were the highlights of the show. All right, so Monday Night Raw. We'll move on to Raw this week. Another really bad rating. Even though Goldberg was on the show, his hour that he was on was the best rated. But the rest of it, really, really bad ratings. Really bad. So, not sure what to think of that. Not sure what to make of that. But that's not good for Raw. They still continue to get bad ratings. Goldberg opened the show up with a promo. And we finally saw him get a little physical. We got to see what he brings to the table in 2016. Now, everyone's kind of, harping on about the fact that he did fall over and his knees were botched. They didn't look good. Yes, that looked bad, but, the guy hasn't thrown a worked knee in a while, let's be honest. So, I'll give him a break, give him a pass, whatever. But I was actually super impressed that he hit a jackhammer on Rusev. I thought Rusev coming out, he's going to hit a spear only. But when he went for the jackhammer, I'm like, there's no fucking way he's going to hit a jackhammer right here. But he did. It was crazy. Obviously, didn't hold him up for long. Didn't do the one-arm thing. He got him up there and straight down, which is cool. But hey, if you can do a jackhammer on Rusev, you can do one on Brock Lesnar. Rusev and Lesnar, same type of weight. So there you go. So that's a good sign. And maybe that's what they probably wanted to achieve from that segment. If they had Jinder Mahal come out and be like, Goldberg, peace and love, baby. I don't think him, jackhammering and spearing Jinder Mahal would have the same effect. Instead, they had Rusev come out there. Yes, it made Rusev look pretty bad, but hey, whatever. Getting in there with Goldberg, I'm sure he enjoyed it. But, so him beating up Rusev a bit just kind of adds a bit of a credible name to, he's attacked and beaten up. So when it comes to Lesnar, you can believe that he has a bit more of a chance. So I can see why they did Rusev in the end. Not a bad decision at all. And hit the jackhammer was cool. Then the spear to Heyman, pretty good spear as well. So obviously Goldberg, he can do his two moves. He can do those two moves that we know and love from Goldberg. So hey, he can do two moves. He can have a match. It's all good. Now I got some flack last episode because I compared Well, I didn't compare, but they were comparing what I said about Goldberg and Adam Rose. Adam Rose is, in his late 30s, you say he's old, but Goldberg's nearly 50 and he's wrestling. The difference between Adam Rose and Goldberg is that Goldberg is actually, a draw. And Goldberg is actually someone people wouldn't mind seeing. And Goldberg is only back for a match, maybe two. Whereas if they brought back Adam Rose, he's old, no one gives a shit about him, and he'd be back full time. So do we really want to see Adam Rose? I certainly don't. So that's my opinion. This is what my show is all about. It's all my opinions. If you don't like my opinions, that's fine. Not everyone is meant to like everybody's opinions in the world, so that's absolutely okay. The Raw Survivor Series team is shaping up to be pretty damn impressive. We got Owens, we got Jericho, we got Reigns, and we got Braun Strowman. Pretty damn good team. I think the last spot will probably go to Rollins, in my opinion. I like the fact they added Strowman. I never even thought about Strowman last week. I said Rusev, but Strowman is a much better choice because Strowman's beating the shit out of everyone. You could have Braun Strowman. He's the type of guy he could beat. He could pin 3 guys in that match. He could clear out SmackDown and have SmackDown down to their last, 1 or 2. Strowman, Raw might lose someone early. Jericho goes early. Strowman comes in and he clears out a couple of guys. Maybe he gets a Randy Orton. Who else is SmackDown guy? I'm kind of drawing a blank. Maybe he gets a Bray Wyatt. Maybe he gets a couple. Yeah, maybe he pins his old leader, Bray Wyatt. That would be interesting. That would be actually pretty damn cool. So I hope those two go face to face. That would be really interesting. Maybe Strowman, maybe Bray Wyatt and Strowman go face to face, and Bray Wyatt does some voodoo magic shit and makes Strowman leave the match, get counted out. I can see that kind of dumb shit happening. That might be the only way they get Strowman out of the match without having him pinned. Because otherwise, he'd have to either get DQ'd, or, he'd have to get pinned. So I can't see him getting pinned. I could see him getting DQ'd, or maybe Bray Wyatt, cast a spell on him and pulls out his wizard wand and does some magic. I don't know, but that's the way I see it. But I could definitely see Strowman making a big impact. And he may be a guy that like the whole SmackDown team just targets right from the get-go, and like all 5 of them beat the hell out of him and like get that, all jump on top of him and try and pin him. That kind of, deal, that might be the only way to pin him type of thing. But I think Strowman being in the team is perfect. I heard a rumor that Sami Zayn could be the last guy, but I don't know, Sami Zayn, why not Seth Rollins? What's Rollins doing? Why is he not in the team? So I'd rather have Seth Rollins in there, but hey, Sami Zayn, whatever. But SmackDown, their team's shaping up to be pretty good as well. I like what they're doing. Baron Corbin is in their team. I kind of thought he would be, considering they probably want to do Miz and Ziggler for the IC at the pay-per-view, just to kind of give the pay-per-view a couple other matches as well. So I could definitely see Baron Corbin being in there as a better choice if they want to do that. I probably predict Corbin could be the first one out, to be honest with you. I think both teams are pretty stacked. But I'm really looking forward to that match. I love Survivor Series. Survivor Series matches are my favorite. You guys know that if you've been listening to the show for a long time. I love Survivor Series, so I'm actually really, really excited for this pay-per-view. I really hope the matches deliver. We haven't had a good Survivor Series match in a bit, Well, I'll take that back. Survivor Series in 2014, that match was phenomenal. That match brought back great, great memories. There's been a lot of great Survivor Series matches, but there have been few and far between. Other than the one in 2014, I couldn't name another one for a long, long time. The old days, SmackDown versus Raw, those Survivor Series matches, they were awesome. I loved them. They were great. So I'm really happy they're kind of bringing that back. I'm really happy that they're going to do something again with Survivor Series and the brand split. I think that's a great thing to do, and I think it's going to work really well. Having the women with their own Survivor Series match, I think it's cool. And the tag teams as well, I think it's cool. You got 3 matches, probably both brands will win 1 each, and then we'll have the decider match as the men's match. And whoever wins, SmackDown, I guess, will get the brand supremacy, the bragging rights. But I wouldn't mind them getting some kind of reward. I don't know what they could give them. In my universe mode, I've given, for example, the next NXT superstar will come to their show instead of, come to Raw type of thing. I mean, I don't know if they would do that, but I wouldn't mind them getting rewarded in some possible way. Maybe they get to pick whoever they want from Raw to come to Smack. I don't know, like something to fight for, something the GMs want to win. Other than, hey, I hate Stephanie, I want SmackDown to win, or vice versa. So, something to fight for would be pretty cool. But I guess, you want to beat the competition, you want to beat your opponent, so I'm okay with that. So I'm actually really looking forward to that pay-per-view. I think Survivor Series will be cool. Obviously, Lesnar and Goldberg as well. Shaping up to be really, really fun. Really looking forward to it. And like I said, I think all 3 Survivor Series teams should be good. I'm glad they're putting the champions in there. I was so disappointed. I was going to be so disappointed they didn't put the champions in there, and they kind of had the titles on the line instead. Championships don't need to be on the line. We've had pay-per-views every 2 weeks. We have a pay-per-view for the world titles and shit. We don't need to have the world titles defended or whatever. We don't need that, so I'm okay with them avoiding that. I'm glad they're putting all the champions in their respective matches. I think it's a great decision. Alright, so just to wrap up Monday Night Raw, the last little thing I want to say here is Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns teasing again they might bring back the Shield. These two may team up. I think it's inevitable that these two probably will team up to take on Owens and Jericho. Makes sense, that's where they're heading the storyline. But I wouldn't mind them kind of slowly teasing it. Have a few more weeks of them having a bit of dissension, not trusting one another, not so sure about each other. And then eventually they say, all right, man, let's do it. Let's put bygones be bygones. Let's team up. Let's try and take down these two. Just slowly build it up for me. That's all I really want. A couple weeks where, there's a potential for them to help out one another out, but they're not sure. They're not trusting each other. Something like that, I think would be pretty cool. All right, moving on to this week's SmackDown. James Ellsworth, probably the star of the show, to be honest with you. Good start to the show. I mean, I'm actually kind of liking Ellsworth on the mic. I mean, I know his promos are pretty scripted, but, I mean, he's not a bad talk. He's better than a lot of the guys in the locker room. He's coming out there, cutting an okay promo, and obviously so apologetic after screwing up last week. So I really like what they did with Ellsworth this week. It's going to be interesting to see how Ellsworth hangs around. I was talking about it on my live stream. I said I could probably only really see Ellsworth hanging around for another month. Unless they maybe try and do something like a heel turn. I could see Ellsworth, since like Ambrose locked him out and all this shit, like, doing all this, like Ellsworth, yes, he got his revenge. He helped out at Ambrose in the end. He got his big win, but I could see like them maybe running a storyline where Dean Ambrose wasn't appreciating the help that Ellsworth was trying to do. Ellsworth was just trying to help a friend out, and Ambrose was not, didn't care for it. Wasn't, happy with him, not respecting him, blah blah blah. But AJ Styles started to show him some respect, and Ellsworth turns on Ambrose and forms up with AJ Styles. I think that would be pretty cool to do at TLC. In that match, have Ellsworth come out and help out AJ Styles for the win. Pretty crazy turn of events, to be honest with you, but I think a heel turn could really work. Yes, he's a babyface right now. Yes, the fans love him, but I can see it kind of, the fire, burning out pretty quickly. The bubble could burst pretty quickly. And whilst he's still hot, whilst people still care, turn him heel. And side him up with AJ, have him be AJ's bitch. He goes and gets coffee for AJ. He carries his bags. He does literally everything for AJ Styles because he loves AJ Styles and he wants to just be like AJ Styles. Run that storyline. I think it could actually really work. That's my opinion. Maybe they don't need to turn him. I mean, it's debatable, but I just feel like if they keep going down this path, it's quite possible that we may see this fizzle out a little bit. And I would hate for it to fizzle out and then not try to do anything with him and just let him go. Say, all right, kid, your run's over. See you later. When they could probably try something like this, have him with AJ Styles for a while and have him be AJ's bitch. And obviously, down the line again, you can have Ellsworth turn or whatever, whatever. He's selling merchandise. People enjoy the character. So it would be a shame to see it go to waste. So I'm just kind of trying to think, how can we keep Ellsworth around for a little longer? And that's just one of the ideas that got thrown around. The new interviewer, or whoever the hell it is, she was terrible. James Ellis or something like that. A rough night for her. She had a bad night. I don't know if it was a debut or anything like that, but I think they did mention she was new. But yeah, she had a rough night. They kind of have a lot of new interviewers lately, don't they? They certainly are trialing a few different women there, and that's cool. That's fine. But she kind of needs to research a little bit more and just kind of touch up on her who's who. Randy Orton. What is going on? Is Randy Orton going to join the Wyatts? I'm starting to believe it a little bit more. Like last week, I was like, no way in hell. No way he's not joining the Wyatts. Not a chance. But now, maybe there's a slight chance he might join up. I still don't believe it. I still think he's going to turn on them in the end. But I'm not sure where they're going with this. Taking out Kane. Now the Wyatts are coming out there to distract and help Randy Orton get wins. I'm not sure what the hell the plan is here, but I'm intrigued. Something different and teasing something big. I don't think Randy will join because it just wouldn't make any sense. Randy Orton's not a good fit for the Wyatts, in my opinion. It just doesn't fit the build of a Wyatt family character. But I think would certainly be interested to see where they go with it. I'll be watching. I'll be intrigued. I want to know why Becky Lynch isn't the team captain for the SmackDown Women's Survivor Series team. Why Nikki Bella is. By the way, dyed her hair. I like the change. I like the darker hair color. Why isn't Becky Lynch... You got a women's champion. Why is she not the team captain of your Survivor Series team? Charlotte is for Raw, so it just makes Becky Lynch look a little bit bad. Like, oh, Nikki Bella is better than Becky Lynch, even though she's not the champion type of deal. Like, come on. I know I want to give the rub to Nikki Bella. I know you want to kind of make Nikki Bella look good, but you're also kind of making your champion look pretty bad by not having her as the captain. I mean, I know they don't want her to speak on the mic. She's not allowed to talk at the mic anymore. Only 2 sentences, that's it. 2-sentence limit, according to Kevin Dunn, apparently. But, yeah, I don't know what the deal is. Is that the reason they don't want to cut in promos? They don't want her to be... come on, she's the champ. She should be the team captain. It's ridiculous. We saw the Headbangers come back this week on SmackDown as well. I kind of said a while ago, I knew the Headbangers weren't going to be around full time. A lot of people were like, oh shit, the Headbangers are back. They're back forever. No, they're just back to lose. Back for a match to lose. The last time they had a match... Was it Slater and Rhino? Was that the one where they just sliced Slater up and all this shit? Like it was not good at all. I I'm surprised they actually brought him back. Well, they brought him back to lose. As simple as that. They needed to kind of have some qualifying matches, and rather than having some of their established teams lose, of that, and they don't have enough teams, to do 10 qualifying, have 5 qualifying matches with 10 teams, I should say. They thought the Headbangers bring them back for a match, whatever. That's fine. And they lost, so we can go about our day. And finally, are we seeing too many AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose matches? Now, we've seen a couple in a row now, and we're seeing the two back and forth week after week after week. Now, we're seeing too much. Seeing too much to the point where by the time we see it again at the pay-per-view, we've kind of seen it all. We've seen everything they're going to do. Has it gotten to that point yet, or are we still just okay? I would love to know in the comments. Have you seen enough of this feud, or are you still on board, still enjoying it, still okay with it? It's interesting. It's certainly interesting. It could go either way with it. I guess the problem is that obviously Orton and Bray, they're tied up. Cena's not there anymore. So who else really is there for them to kind of use to break up this rivalry for a bit? Maybe The Miz, maybe Ziggler. But, so they kind of got everyone tied up a little bit, so they don't really have much room to kind of use someone else there. So it is a little bit of a problem, and it will affect their pay-per-views, in my opinion, their big pay-per-view match, the big payoff match when AJ Styles and Ambrose go one-on-one at TLC. I think it will probably affect it because we've probably seen just about everything to do with the two. But that's pretty much it for this week's SmackDown and Raw recaps, I guess you could say. I actually really enjoyed both shows. Last week, I really did not give a shit at all about either show. But this week, I enjoyed Raw. Yes, I said it. I enjoyed Raw. And I enjoyed SmackDown. So, a thumbs up from me this week. I enjoyed both shows. A few things about it that I really, really liked. And I think Survivor Series is going to be freaking awesome. I just can't wait. I mean, I'm actually genuinely excited for Survivor Series. I think it's going to be cool as... Hell in a Cell was good. So, overall pretty decent week for WWE. They had a pretty good week. Just not real big fan of that Cruiserweight thing that they're trying to do. But hey, whatever. We do have some questions for this week's show. We're going to get into them in a moment. I just want to touch on something gaming related before we do get there. The battle. Battlefield versus Infinite Warfare versus Modern Warfare Remastered versus Titanfall 2. 4 shooters. 1 a remake, 3 brand new games coming out right now. Now, as we speak, I have played Modern Warfare Remastered. I played it 3 or 4 days ago when the servers are up for a little bit. I was playing it then. Wasn't liking it. Now the servers are up. I'm finding actual games online. I'm actually playing the game for real. I'm 50-50. Honestly, I actually thought I would really love this game. I'm not sure why. I think, obviously, it's a bit of an adjustment. You come from Battlefield, and, you pump 5, 6, 7 bullets into a guy, and now you go to... Modern Warfare Remastered, it's 2, 3 bullets to get a kill. So it's a bit of a difference there, and I'm kind of trying to readjust to the different style of game, but I really am enjoying Battlefield 1. I'm loving Battlefield 1, but I just feel like I need a little bit of a break from it, and going to Modern Warfare Remastered for a bit is a good break for me. I haven't played the Infinite Warfare main game. Obviously, I played the beta. Was... at the times enjoying it, but for the most part, not so impressed. I wouldn't, if I had to choose if I was going to buy the game from that beta, I wouldn't have. But I'd already pre-ordered it to get Modern Warfare Remastered, obviously. So far, Remastered, it's not as good as I thought it would be. I'm just not really digging the maps, and the fact that I'm dying so quickly is just a bit of an adjustment I have to make from going on Battlefield, and the speed of the game is a lot quicker than kind of got myself used to as of late. So I think I'll get there. I think I'll adjust. Obviously, I'm having some decent games as well. My KD's not that great. I'm only like 1.6 at the moment. I'm currently like a 2.8 on Battlefield 1, so I've been playing pretty good on Battlefield 1, but haven't adjusted too well on COD, so I need to kind of get a bit more time there. But I haven't played Infinite Warfare. It just finished downloading whilst I'm halfway through this podcast. So after the podcast, I will play. But I'm actually pretty genuinely excited to play the Infinite Warfare campaign. Now, you might be wondering, fucking hell, Brendan, campaign? Really? Out of all the things, you want to play campaign? Not zombies, not multiplayer? You want to play campaign? I don't know. Something about Infinity War games I like with their campaigns. I liked... COD 4 Remastered campaign. I recently did that, and I got the Platinum. I enjoyed it. MW2 campaign was great. MW3 campaign was great. COD Ghost campaign was great. Infinite Warfare campaign. Will it be great? I don't know. I hope so. Let's hope so, and it could be. So I will be probably checking that out soon. I have played some of the Battlefield 1 campaign, and I played the Australian Gallipoli missions. They were freaking awesome, man. They were absolutely amazing. Really, really liked it. Then I went to the tank missions, and I wasn't much of a fan, because I'm not a huge tank guy, to be honest with you, but so I haven't kind of finished the campaign there yet. I've been playing a lot of Skyrim Remastered as well. My friend bought the game for me, and I was like, I don't know, I've already played Skyrim, I've already finished Skyrim, do I want to revisit it again? He was playing it, and I was like, alright, screw it, I'll play it, I'll give it a go, let's play it. And I actually really, really enjoying it. It's been a while since I played it, probably 4 years since I played it. I can't remember much about it, so I'm kind of like reliving everything again for the first time. Plus, there's so much about Skyrim. There's so much. You could have missed like 80% of the game, on your first playthrough. So there's so much to do, so much to experience for the first time again, or even to relive again, and it's all good. So I'm enjoying that, really am, and I think I'll probably definitely try and get the platinum this time. I tried to get the platinum last time, and I lost my save file, and I ended up with 75%. Really gutted about that. But this time, let's try and rectify my wrongs. Let's get that platinum. We'll try and make that my goal. But I am enjoying that as well. But as for the other games coming out, like Watch Dogs and stuff, I don't know if I'm going to get that anytime soon. Maybe when the other games start to cool down a little bit. But there's so many shooters. Titanfall 2, so close to pulling the trigger on it. I mean, I've read the reviews, 9 out of 10 reviews. A lot of people saying it's good. But I just don't really want to play the jump and fly in the air kind of shit. I know Titanfall does it a lot better than Infinite Warfare. I know that. They actually designed their maps to suit that style, and it's fun, it's cool. But I just don't like it. I just hate the Titans that come in. That's my biggest concern. I just don't like the Titans that drop in. I really hate that. The gun-on-gun stuff, I played the game mode where it's just gun-on-gun in the beta, and I didn't mind it. It was pretty decent. So that would probably be the only thing that I'd like to play online, but I'm sure that wouldn't have that many people in it. So that's my concern. That's my only issue. But yeah, so at the moment, just going to stick with COD and Battlefield. Titanfall, maybe when it gets a price drop, but for now, not for me. Let's just focus on what I've got. But it's a good time to be a shooter fan. Modern Warfare Remastered's pretty good. Still a little undecided about it. Battlefield 1 is phenomenal. It's actually a freaking terrific game. Infinite Warfare, okay. And if you want, Titanfall. So, pretty good time to be a shooter fan. I'm obviously a huge shooter guy. I did a Battlefield 1 video on my channel the other day. Not many views as I expected, but it's something I definitely want to do a little bit more of. And every now and then I'll probably try and post some Battlefield stuff. I just want to spice it up a little bit. I want to do some more variety, and that's something that I'm really, really passionate about, really interested in. So, definitely something I'll be doing a lot more of in the future. But, yeah, so loving my gaming right now. I'm actually getting back into gaming properly for the first time in a while. And playing campaigns again. I haven't played campaigns in ages. I played a lot of FIFA this week as well. And I'm enjoying getting my trophies again. Trophy hunting's been fun. Playing campaigns have been fun. Normally, I play a game for an hour and I just can't play anymore. I've just been in a gaming rut. But my rut is just about over. I think probably thanks to Battlefield 1, I was playing it so much, loving it so much, it just kind of kicked me out of that rut. And now I could just sit down and game and game and game. It's been terrific. And now with my new setup, I just want to game even more. It's going to be a great time. Really, really fun times ahead. Just need to finish college for the year. Just need to get through this last semester and I'm all good. We're going to have 3-4 months off. We can game as much as I like. Cannot wait. Alright, so we have some questions we want to get into before we wrap up this week's show. Let's get straight into these questions, shall we? And alrighty, so the first one is going to come from Alfonso Romero. Which superstar would you like to see come back from retirement? Now, I would love to see a few guys come back, but the problem is their health. Daniel Bryan, for example, would love to see him come back and have a match against Kurt Angle, for example, or AJ Styles, or even Nakamura. I would love to see those matches. Steve Austin, who wouldn't want to see Austin back in the ring just one more time, hit a few more stunners and beat someone up? Would love it. Who else possibly? I don't really think there's really anyone else. Shawn Michaels, I guess the AJ Styles match would be cool. Don't get me wrong, I would think that would be pretty fun. I wasn't a massive... I mean, I like HBK, but he's not like one of my absolute all-time favorites. But I'd be down to see him versus AJ Styles at the Rumble if that is going to happen. I know the rumor is going around. I don't think it will, but if he ever came back for a match, I'd be okay with it. I think it'd be fun. So there's a few guys, just a few legends I wouldn't mind seeing come back. And we got another one from Alfonso. If you were part of the WWE, what role would you like to be a part of? Would you like to wrestle? Would you like to be in backstage, creative? And if you wrestled, what would your in-ring name and gimmick be? All right, first of all, if I was ever to be a part of WWE, if I had to be in the ring in some capacity, well, it wouldn't be in the ring, but I would stand outside the ring. I would like to be a manager. I'm not athletic enough to be a wrestler, and I actually have I have zero desire to be a wrestler. None. But I think being a personality and being a manager would be a lot of fun. You stand outside, stand next to someone, you talk for them sometimes, or you cheer them on, whatever role you're going to take as a manager. There's so many different things you can do, but I think managers has been a bit of a lost art of wrestling, especially in the WWE. Something they haven't really done enough of is using managers enough, and I think I think bringing back managers would really, really improve a lot of characters. A lot of characters could really use a mouthpiece, and I think being a manager would be a lot of fun. Creative, creative really isn't for me. I mean, I have some decent ideas in my own head, in my own opinion. I think I have a couple of good ideas here and there, but full-time creative, I just don't think I could do it. I'm not creative enough. I'm not a very creative person. A consultant, if I have an idea, I could pitch an idea that I may have. I think that'd be cool, but that would really be the extent of it. I don't think I would be very good at creative. I just don't think I had that many good ideas. To be honest, I would love to be a commentator for WWE. I think that if I had to do a commentary role would be cool. I don't think I'm obviously not a great commentator, but being a sports commentator has kind of been one of my dream jobs forever. So doing it in some capacity would be awesome. And if not, doing business related, doing marketing, management, human resource, any sort of backstage business related stuff, because that's the kind of field that I'm going to be answering in, hopefully one day soon. So that type of stuff I think would be pretty cool. Obviously, WWE is such a huge company. There's so many different roles you can do. This next one is coming from Cameron Fox. If Hulk Hogan reformed the NWO on Raw next week, how would you feel? First of all, I would be shocked because I'm seeing Hulk Hogan on my TV again. Second of all, I'd be wondering what the hell is Hulk Hogan doing here. Thirdly, I'd be saying what the fuck is the NWO being reformed for? And fourthly, I'd say what the fuck is Scott Hall and Kevin Nash doing here? I don't think there'd be any point to it at all. Hulk Hogan's in his mid-60s. Yes, 60s, not 40s, 60s. Nash, mid-50s. Scott Hall, mid-50s. These guys are old. Now, if they reformed a NWO with new people in it, yeah, I mean, I think that would fail. I think the crowd would hate it, so I don't think that would ever work. But if Hulk Hogan came out and endorsed a wrestler or whatever, and the NWO came out and endorsed a group or a wrestler or whatever, maybe involved themselves in a storyline of some sorts, okay, sure. But yeah, I don't really see any point to it at all. Maybe if the Shield were running hot again, and the NWO came out and be like, hey, we used to be like you guys, blah 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 blah, and cut a bit of a promo on them and a bit of a storyline. Maybe they get punched and take a bump or two, whatever. Yeah, whatever. Cameron Fox again. How do you feel about the Raw women's title being hot potatoed between Charlotte and Sasha Banks? Well, it is a bit, isn't it? It's kind of going back and forth. Charlotte's already on her third title reign now, which is nuts. It's like Roman Reigns. He had 3 title reigns in a few months. It was crazy. But hot potatoed. Look, I don't think Charlotte should have won at Hell in a Cell, to be honest with you. I think I would have had Sasha Banks win it and hold on to it. Now we're kind of going back to Charlotte with the champ. I think Charlotte's been champion too much. Too long, too much. I think we've kind of seen it all from what she can do. But it's kind of though, where do you go with her without the title? She's just been the champion the whole time we've seen her on the main roster. She's basically been the champ. It would be odd to see her without the title. I couldn't imagine it. So, I don't know where you really go specifically without her in the championship picture or her as the champion. So, I don't know. I don't know what you do. But I guess, in my opinion, she's been champion a little long. They have hot potatoed it a bit. I could see Charlotte holding on to it until WrestleMania, though, and this, just being her title reign again, having another long one, or longish one until WrestleMania, and then whoever's going to beat her. But I think the whole Sasha and Charlotte thing should be done now, and we should move on to someone else. Another one from Alfonso. Which team do you think will win the tag titles from Slater and Rhino? I think the Usos are probably your best bet. They're doing well. They're getting a bit of a push. American Alpha, the other options, but I feel like the American Alpha probably wouldn't take it from the team of Slater and Rhino because both teams being babyface. So I'd have to say the Usos, without a doubt. I think when they get a shot, they'll probably will win those back. From Oakley Tiger, how would WWE be different or similar had CM Punk stayed? Well, I don't think it would be that much different. I think you'll find CM Punk would still be on top right now. Perhaps Punk would have had another couple of title reigns as world champion. I could see Punk as one of the faces of a brand, as the face of a brand, whether that be Raw or SmackDown. I could see him being the headliner for that show. Which is a shame. I think that would be pretty cool right now to see maybe Punk and AJ Styles have a match, over SmackDown, or, CM Punk and Kevin Owens have a match. There's so many guys that have come through now that I think CM Punk would do great stuff with. Punk and Rollins one-on-one, Punk and Ambrose, even Roman Reigns and Punk. There's a lot of guys that have kind of come through and established themselves since CM Punk left. So it is a shame that he kind of left. When he left, there really wasn't much going on right then. WWE was kind of struggling a little bit. And I kind of understand why he left. He was burnt out, whatever, wasn't enjoying it, fair enough. So, would anything have changed? Well, if you go to the mentality that he had right then, he just had, you could see since the whole 2013 year, he didn't look like he tried, didn't look like he cared, just didn't look like he wanted to be there. And his look was getting bad, it wasn't good. He needed to go. But would anything have changed? Other than probably who is in what spot right now, a couple of world title reigns, probably not really. I don't think a lot would have changed. I don't think the business would have revolutionized or anything like that. I think most things would have stayed the same, except just Punk maybe won the title maybe once or twice. Final question from Thomas Bello, and this kind of leads on to what we just said. Do you think now is a good time to be a WWE fan? Well, we just kind of sat there with a lot of an emergence of a lot of new guys. Is now a good time to be a fan? Absolutely. Now, are the ratings down? Yes. Is the interest down? Me personally, I like the brand split. They're pushing new guys. They're establishing new stars. They're doing a lot of things right. Certainly on SmackDown, Raw, still a little long, whatever. They're doing a lot of things right. You compare WWE right now to 2012. Oh, it's leaps and bounds better. It's way better. Way, way better. The match quality is better. The talent is better. Everything about it is just better. WWE is certainly really has improved since, a few years ago. Even 2013, even 2014. Obviously 2015 was pretty shitty, but that was mainly due to injury. It was like the year of the injury, that one. But this year's been good. This year's been pretty good. We're seeing a good improvement, and I think WWE is getting better. I think without a doubt. And I think you'll find in the next couple of years, WWE is going to keep on getting better and better. I don't think it's going to reach that new height that we're looking for. Obviously, ratings and shit are down, but I think WWE is getting better. And if you are a fan of wrestling, you're a fan of WWE, it's a pretty good time to be watching right now. I think in the next year, a couple of years, WWE is going to get even better. Alright guys, if you do want to leave a question for next week's episode, please do so in the comments down below, or you can also head over to our Facebook page at BrendenPlayz Official and leave your question there, or over at the forums at BrendenPlayz.com/forums. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's edition of the show, and if you want to head over to our Spreaker page and leave a love heart on that page, that would be really, really appreciated. Kind of support us, share the show around, and tell a friend about us. Share us around on Twitter, and make sure you do leave a question for next week, and I'll be sure to try and answer them if I can on the show next week. This Sunday will be the Elimination Chamber. Unfortunately, we had to change it from Saturday to Sunday. So if anyone asks, it's on Sunday. You let them know. You tell them. If you see a video of my Universe mode, ask them, when is it? You tell them. I'll put up a video probably tomorrow, something like that, with the time change. Unfortunately, we had to change things around because of my schedule. But hopefully that's okay with you. Hopefully you'll still be able to come along to the show live. If not, it'll be available on YouTube once the show is all but done. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next week.